Hello, hello. This is Ignacy Trzewicek from Portal Games.
And Corey Thompson from Dice Tower Dish and Above Board TV.
And this is the Podfather of Gaming, Stephen Bonacore. You are listening to Board Games Insider, episode 328. And we're recording this on July 25th, 2024. Board Games Insider is proud to be powered by Board Game Geek. Gentlemen, the band is back together. That is very cool. Good to see y'all. How's everybody doing?
Yeah. Doing good. Early in the morning.
Very early for Corey.
I'm very good, thank you. And I want to apologize everyone involved about my problems in the past few recordings.
Yes, the good Dr. Chevicek has let us down a few times. I promised to buy him like new equipment for one of his locations so he can always be ready to record. But you know what, Ignacy, you're here now and you're going to give us great news about what's happening in your life and at Portal Games.
What's happening? Ignacy is sad because I'm Slavic, because literally everyone is talking about the Gen Con. And I had this brilliant, idea this year that I'm not going to Gen Con. And I regret it wholeheartedly right now because all the cool kids are preparing for Gen Con. Everybody is talking about the biggest con of the year. And I will be sitting here in Poland just watching Facebook feed and all my friends having fun. So yeah, not super awesome time, but it's totally my fault. Portal Games is ready. I'm in a constant, of course, discussion with Chevy Dot, who will represent Portal Games at the show. And we have our product ready. We have our booth ready. We have our amazing team of friends and volunteers who will help us at the booth. So Portal Games is ready for the Gen Con. We will pre-release AI Space Puzzle. I discussed this game many times already in the podcast, so I will not bore our loyal listeners, but go to portalgamesus.com and check it out. It's very fun, a very smart game from Polish designers. Today I accepted the tutorial video recorded by Watch It Play, the Rodney Smith, and I had a blast because the game AI Space Puzzle is designed by 4 designers, and Rodney had to pronounce 4 Polish names in the video, and it is freaking hilarious. So everyone here in Poland will have a super joy when the video got posted.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, AI Space Puzzle will have in a couple of days a video from Watch It Played, so check it out. As always, brilliant stuff. And this is it. We released already in America this amazing book of adventures. I strongly recommend it. The best expansion ever we published. I'm very proud of that. So basically, for the first part of the year, I'm saying nothing is happening. We're preparing for the releases, and then the releases happen, and there's nothing to talk about new stuff. So always a bad timing.
And that's for yes, Robinson Crusoe, right? That's just to make sure people understand. For Robinson Crusoe, you get all these new scenarios that you can play, right? It's really cool.
This is insane. Like for everyone who saw it in a physical form, this is insane. What my team prepared, the full kudos to my team. Yeah. I was not involved in this production. Insane expression for Robinson Crusoe. I expect that most of the fans of the game will have this on the shelf because it's brilliant.
And for those watching, it's I don't know, I'm going to make a guess there. It's about 100 pages of scenarios.
52 scenarios, so it is more than 100 pages.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Yeah, more than 100 pages of Robinson Crusoe scenario. That's fantastic, Ignacy. Good luck with that.
Thank you. Steven, are you coming to Gen Con? I guess you're coming, right?
I'm the only one here that's going to Gen Con. And this.
So I'd like to ask if you can transfer from Gen Con to Poland via UPS shipment or FedEx shipment or other company chocolate bombs.
I'm writing this down right now. Ignacy.
Because the tradition started at Stronghold Games booth. Then, because I'm a cookie monster, I took part in this tradition, and then 4 years at Stronghold Games booth, at the Portal Games booth, there was this amazing chocolate bombs, and this is what I'm missing the most from the whole show.
So let's explain what that means. I know we're going a little long here, but let's explain what that means. It's so very, very wonderful human being, Beth Moak, who is a long time demo person for Stronghold, her and her husband, Steve. she would make these things called chocolate bombs to describe how delicious would be doing not justice to these things.
Yep.
They were about the size of a golf ball, and just chocolate over chocolate over chocolate, sometimes with a little bit of like peanut butter inside too. Unbelievable. Everybody would come who knew about it to the Stronghold Games booth to get one.
Wow.
But she'll be bringing some for me. Maybe I'll
that's
share
why
them.
I'm asking you for a favor, like to send one chocolate bomb to Poland. Like I would
We'll see if I can do that. Corey, what's going on with you, buddy?
It's early. I'm tired.
It's so early. You look so tired.
It's so early.
Ignacy, you didn't mention his new look. Ignacy has not seen this new look. This no beard, short hair look.
That's true. Yeah.
He looks like a cherub. Those little fat little angels in the frescoes. He looks like a cherub.
I look like I'm 12 years old.
You finally look younger than me. And I'm 15 years older. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Older than me. It's got to be at least 20. So I'm in LA right now. This is the podcast studio for Above Board. We actually yesterday filmed 4 episodes of our Everything is a Game podcast. I was in one of them. We had all sorts of special guests. Jason Charles Miller was a special guest. I think that one's already been posted. Jaina Ortiz, actress from Grey's Anatomy, Station 19, Rosewood. She was a special guest. Nice. And, well, me. So I had a lot of fun with that. We've been filming our D&D ongoing series called Dungeon Call. And I think the first episode is supposed to drop tomorrow. So it will be available on YouTube when this episode comes out.
Right.
Other exciting things, I have brought back my interview page, Dice Tower Dish. I'm going to say it was on hiatus, but in all reality, everything else got too busy, so I just didn't work on it for a long time. And unfortunately, the first victim of this new rebirth is Ignacy. I did an interview with Ignacy at Dice Tower East. And it was Dice Tower East 2020. It was a long time
like 3 years ago, right?
Two.
Okay.
I mean, let's not get crazy.
2 years.
It was 2 years. But I'm finding it really fascinating. One, if you haven't heard Ignacy speak, Ignacy tells the most amazing stories about the early days of gaming and non-gaming really in Poland. And the reality of where the world was really sits home because, Ignacy was trying to create a luxury gaming model right after the fall of communism in Poland. There was nothing. So the entire industry was kind of created by this man who forgets his headphones.
He created Polish gaming industry.
He really, really did. And it's really interesting to talk about games that were concepts 2 years ago that now have gone to fruition. And
that's interesting. Yeah.
Seeing it from this older perspective, I'm throwing a spin on the fact that I really messed up and it was way too late. But I'm having a really good time putting it together. It's going to be a 6-part interview on dicetowerdish.com. 4 of the parts are already posted. There's
Very
2
nice.
more that are come up pretty soon. I want to do a quick shout out. A friend of the channel, a friend of mine, Karen Knobloch, board game designer, she designed a game, Consumption, a few years ago, which is a really interesting game about nutrition, about eating food. And you actually take this food, you buy the food, you make recipes, you take the pieces, you put them on your board, the food is now in your body. Then you exercise to remove the food from your body, and you need to maintain a certain balance. And you score points at the end of the game for how much you've eaten of what kind of foods. There's a redo.
If I play this game, Corey, will I lose weight because I just need to metabolize
I think
food better?
You probably will, but Karen really likes to make fun of me that I had the lowest score ever when I played the game
That's an interesting idea.
at my house. So anyway, there's a new edition of the game coming out from Grail Games. The Kickstarter is dropping on July 30th. It's called Food for Thought, and it's a second edition of Consumption, which I think is really an amazing food-oriented, nutrition-oriented game, which is a theme that you just don't see all that often. So quick shout out there to Karen and Food for Thought.
Very cool. And over here at the Podfather of Gaming, I am at the WBC, not to be confused with the WSBG, the World Series of Board Games. This is the World Board Gaming Championships, 30-year plus convention in these days in the southwestern corner of Pennsylvania, below Pittsburgh by like 2 hours. And I come here with a buddy of mine, Chad, who's long time friend of mine, and we play epic games when we're here together. So the two of us have played so far 2 games of War of the Ring, 2 games of Dune War for Arrakis.
Of course.
I'm about to, well, on Saturday, I'm going to play 2 games of Star Wars Rebellion. I've never played. Everyone says, how could you have never played this game? You're going to love it because you like War of the Ring and Dune War for Arrakis. And it kind of has that similar feel.
It's really good.
Yeah, good. I can't wait to play it. Today, as soon as this is over, I'm going to quickly review the rules again. I'm playing a 7-player Struggle of Empires, which is it's my favorite Martin Wallace game of all, and I love that game. So can't wait to do that. And this gentleman, Kevin, who's a fan of the show, his code name is Jercules. He reached out and said, "You want to do this? I know you're a big fan." I'm like, "Yes, let's get a 7-player game." So I can't wait to play that today. And then it's just going to be more and more, light games in the evening while I have a few beers, and heavy, crazy, epic games during the day. So having a great time here. Couple of quick shout outs to people from here. Bill, who's a huge fan of the show from New Jersey. He sees me at cons. He's always saying nice things, and I always forget his name, but I always remember his face. So Bill, thank you for being a cool guy and a fan. Danique, there's a name you can't forget. Danique actually knows Chad and his wife because she's owns a yarn shop, the way Chad's wife does, in New Jersey. And she's been hanging out with us and playing some nice light games at night. She invited me to be her partner in the Pitch Car World Championship. Well, not really, but the pitch car game that they play here, and they set up this ridiculous track of pitch car. Had a great time. We came in right in the middle of the pack. We did not win, but it was great. And that whole group of people that she's with, all these New Jersey people that I didn't know, they're like South Jersey people. They're just nice people, and we've been hanging out together. The last person I'm going to shout out is Justin from the University of Maryland, the guy I hooked up with Gamma like 2 years ago so that they could offer college level education benefits to Gamma members. And I didn't know him by face. He saw me, he was just walking in the hallway, and he said, "Mr. Bonacore, Justin, we did the thing with Gamma." I'm like, "Oh, this is so cool." It was one of my most proud things that I was able to get a benefit like that for every member of Gamma. So you have young employees or something like that. They want some college education. They can do it through Gamma. So through the University of Maryland, through this benefit. So remember that you can do that if you're a Gamma member. Get your employees educated if they want to be. At Gen Con, which is next week, there's a whole bunch of places you might be able to find me. The Spaghetti Factory on Thursday at 7 p.m. for the Rolling Dice and Taking Names Strike Tournament and Spaghetti Dinner. That's a fun thing. Also, the Man versus Meeple event on Saturday from 6 to 10 p.m. Pizza, games, and prizes at 433 North Capitol Avenue. If you guys want to hang out, those are ones that are open to the public. I won't mention other ones. Otherwise, I'll be all over the con. Of course, just find me and say hey. Another shout out for Spielworks, for Epos, right now on GameFound. Go check that out. It's a Genties game. Really cool. That's all for now. I think we need to get to the event deck. All right, gentlemen, we have some interesting stories here this week.
Come to Poland during Gen Con.
I'm sorry, what's that?
Now I'm feeling really bad about missing Gen Con. Maybe I'll just go to Poland.
So, Corey, I think you put this next first story here.
I did, and I found this really fascinating. So there's this guy named Aaron Wayne, And he's done some pretty amazing things. He basically bought himself a CAT scanner. He knew how to use it, had a little bit of training, but he's used this CAT scanner in a project called Project Vesuvius, where they CAT scan very delicate rolled up scrolls from ancient times, and through digital manipulation can actually read the scrolls while they're still rolled up.
Wow.
So that's interesting and fascinating. But what he's done recently, and you can see YouTube videos on this and his webpage on this, is he has scanned sealed packs of Pokemon cards and determined what cards are in the pack.
Wow.
So what I find really fascinating about this is it's created a new grade of card. Cards are graded usually up to 10. If you have a card that's really, really pristine and mint, it is a grade 10. What is the grade of a card in an unopened pack?
That you is in there. It's weird.
Market. Yes. You can prove that this rare foil Pokemon card is in this pack, but the pack has not been opened. And there's a little bit of precedent to this with specifically with Pokemon cards. They can weigh them with a very, very detailed scale and prove there is a foil card in there by weight. So there's a market for packs that they know have foil cards.
Oh my
but
God.
Now this guy has scanned it with a CT scanner, and he can tell you exactly which foil card is in this unopened pack.
Oh my
He's kind
God.
of keeping the mechanism and how he does it close to the chest. He's not releasing it out. He basically said, anybody can do it. It's not easy. It's really hard, but he's talking about creating a market with this.
So I'm gonna make a bet coming that the makers of Pokemon create a case, the foil, the what do you call the stuff that you put the cards in that will not be able to be like it'll be like lead or something like that where you can't see through them. Because doesn't it kind of destroy the whole market?
Money to do that.
Yeah, doesn't it destroy the whole market though?
If you think about it, though, the Pokemon company doesn't care particularly about the secondary market.
True.
Pokemon company, what this will do is this will bring the secondary market closer to them. So I don't think they care.
That's a really wild story. Well, I guess we'll see how that one, if he's going to like let people know how to do this and if he's going to create his own little secondary market of closed boosters saying, I know that in this one has so-and-so. Very, very interesting story. So we have the big news of the industry, right? The annual Spiel des Jahres winners were announced. Always big because as we've discussed, really the only award in this industry that has an impact on sales of a material nature. Everything is going to help a little bit, but of a material nature is the Spiel des Jahres.
And there's very real measurable sales increases for Spiel nominees and Spiel winners.
So what do we have here? We had Sky Team, right? By designed by Luc Remond, Scorpion Masqué, published in the US by Hachette Board Games, was awarded the actual Spiel des Jahres. And the Kenner Spiel des Jahres, which is the gamer's game, the enthusiast game, for more experienced players, you can say, was won by E-Mission.
In the US,
Daybreak.
Called Daybreak.
I'm sorry. It's Daybreak by Matt Leacock.
E-Mission, which is a wonderful play on words.
Oh, okay. So it's Daybreak by Matt Leacock and Matteo Menapace. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Published.
You speak Italian, so come on.
British.
Menapace. That's how you would say it in Italian, assuming he is an Italian national. I mean, I don't say my name the way it's said in Italy. So anyway, so congratulations to both of those. Can I? Of course I can. Buono cuore. Of course I can. Come on.
Awesome.
And the Kinderspiel des Jahres, the children's game of the year, was awarded to The Magic Keys by Arno Steinwender and Marcus Slawicek. Slavicek, almost like Chevicek. So congratulations to those winners. I certainly think at least the first two are these weren't much of a surprise to people. I think most people were kind of predicting these two winners, Sky Team and Daybreak
was a little bit of a surprise. Daybreak was a little heavy. It's interesting that both of the Spiel winners this year, the Spiel and the Kenner Spiel, were co-ops, which is an interesting trend. There were a lot of very strong contenders this year. A lot of people were hoping for Ticket to Ride Legacy to win. And that, of course, another Matt Leacock game with the whole Legacy team with Alan Moon and Rob Davio and the whole gang.
Right.
Yeah, if I may comment two things from my perspective. One thing I believe it is important to mention that this time the whole ceremony was live streamed as always, but this time there was a special English live stream with the translator translating the whole thing live. So all audience in States, in UK, in Europe was able to actually attend this ceremony. So that was awesome that they did it for the international audience. And for the no surprises, I would say there is a surprise from my perspective because almost every year as we record this podcast, we have to explain the geeks that Spiel des Jahres is this very simple game. It is for the masses in Germany. And when geeks were complaining that this game is so simple, we were always explaining them, this is Spiel des Jahres for the average people in German who just have one game or two games at home. And now Sky Team is a freaking amazing geeks game. I love it. I have it in my collection. You guys need to have it in your collection as well. It's absolutely brilliant. So this year, they leveled up the difficulty of the game. And I think it is important to point it out.
Yes. And when we announced the nominees, Corey and I actually mentioned that exact thing, that really both of certainly the Spiel des Jahres games have been over time kind of getting lighter and lighter. But this year it's just a notch up. Now it's not the mechanics of that game are hard at all, but it's hard to win that game after you get past that first airport. Like Corey and I played that and we crushed the first one. Then we got to the next airport and I'm like crashing planes all over the place. It was really not a good sign.
Same with me. Exactly.
And it's got so many add-on mechanisms and things. I had the opportunity to play it at Gathering a few years ago. Joel Gagnon from Randolph had it and was passing it around. And from the first moment, it's such a good two-player co-op.
Excellent.
Fantastic game.
So now we have
this leads
sadly, I'm sorry. Did you want to continue on that or go to the next one?
The next story.
Yeah. So sadly, in conjunction with the Spiel des Jahres winners, we have a story here.
Exactly. Yeah, with what Ignacy was saying, that it was live streamed for the first time.
So Corey, I'd like you to take this story if you don't mind, because and
Sure.
we're not gonna give opinions on this story because it's very controversial. But we're gonna just report what happened and explain things a little bit bigger. And we do have some behind the scenes insight because we know people in the industry. So Corey, go ahead.
So during the live stream for the Kenner Spiel des Jahres on the acceptance of Daybreak emissions, the co-designer Matteo Menapace was wearing a sticker that was a watermelon sticker, which is well known to be a symbol representing Palestinian support. It went a little further than that. I should say the watermelon symbol for a long time has been almost a substitute for the Palestinian flag. The Palestinian flag has been too hot recently and actually has been banned in several areas. So supporters have been using a watermelon logo, which has the same colors as this Palestinian flag. And that particular kind of watermelon is a cultural staple in the area. So Matteo was wearing a sticker that, one, was the watermelon supporting Palestine itself, not more than support, but two, it was in the shape of the original Palestinian map. And this shape has further connotations because it includes the borders of Israel. So this particular icon has been used as support for dissolution of Israel. The Spiel made an official statement on it. And Spiel has basically banned Matteo from future Spiel events and has made a statement that they support. They don't want to open the window for any anti-Semitism, anti-Zionism, or racism, or anything of this sort. And in Germany, the laws regarding this are much, much stricter than a lot of other countries. They take it very, very seriously. So an official statement was made. And I have it in German here, but
yeah, I saw
can
that
give you pieces of the statement.
If you can give a few pieces of it, so we can't go deeply into this, of course.
Of course, and basically they reprimanded him for doing this. Let me bring this out.
Maybe we should. Go ahead.
The Game of the Year Association has been supporting the Playing for Tolerance initiative for years and thus positioning itself unequivocally against any form of racism and anti-Semitism. We find it intolerable that a game author we invited wore a symbol on his clothing on stage that Jews must perceive as anti-Semitic. With his action, the author also behaved in an extremely uncollegial manner towards others involved in the game, the author, editorial team, and publisher. So they have banned Matteo from future events.
So I think what we need to go with, Corey, right now, I think we need to go to the point where we actually did a little extra investigation or reached out to some people. We have an unnamed person that knows Matteo very well, and while Matteo hasn't made an official statement, he wanted to explain something about what happened and about that symbol. Do you have that? Because you spoke to this person.
Someone close to the entire situation has said that Matteo is a very active, very kind person who supports many oppressed communities and situations. And Matteo did not know the full extent of the meaning of the symbol that he wore. He wore it simply as a support of Palestinian, just as for the Palestinian people, but the full extent, including the borders of the map, he had no idea.
So the symbol itself has many meanings. The symbol itself has more meanings than apparently Matteo knew. So I think we have to leave it there, unless anybody wants to make anything else. But we certainly are not making a statement on this. My only statement is, let's keep gaming pure. Let's game. Right. Let's enjoy all communities, all people, and not try to bring too much of this into our space. That's my only statement.
Interesting that Schmidt-Spiel put out a non-statement. This is probably the most professional thing I've heard. Schmidt-Spiel said, Matteo Menapace is an independent game designer and therefore not on the publishing side. Accordingly, Schmidt will make no further statement in this regard.
Isn't that so German? That's a no, we're not going to talk about this. Done. So anyway, unless we have anything else.
Unfortunate thing that happened during a live stream, but it happened. You're going to hear about it. So
yeah. And with that, let's get over to strategy and tactics. All right. So Jacob Stein, who's at Lord Stein, he asks, is there a game which you prefer a meeple version to a miniatures version? I am excited for the new Cyclades, and every time I look at it, I think the meeple version makes more sense. What makes miniatures important to you in a game? Do you prefer miniatures or not? And why? That's a really interesting question. And by the way, since I mentioned Meeples so many times, I either owe Corey candy or some company in Germany money. I'm not sure yet, but we'll figure that one out.
No, me.
So guys, what do you think? I mean, is there a time? Is there a time you want Meeples over
there
miniatures?
Very much is. So I find that in games that overdo it on Meeples, they all blend into gray figures. So certainly if you paint them and make them distinctive, it's easy to quickly look and see what meeple is what. But the one that we've run into recently is actually Station Fall. if you remember, Station Fall has little, wooden cylinders with symbols on the top that are very easy to quickly look at and go, oh, that's the monkey. That's my guy. That's his guy. The miniatures are small, gray miniatures, and at first glance, it's actually quite difficult to figure out which one is which. So I prefer a Meeple version of that
There
game.
you go.
I fully agree, and this is a very difficult topic because on one hand, obviously, Kickstarter miniatures, everybody loves miniatures, but then in a real actual gameplay, these miniatures are not always a better solution, and so many times just wooden disc or Meeple is so much more clear. So I agree. Like if I turn the camera, we are now in my studio for painting miniatures. I have here all my brushes and paints and miniatures. Like this is my studio where I paint miniatures. So I love miniatures. But then when I play a Euro game, when I play a game when I need a clear vision of the board, I love my Meeples. So this is counterintuitive. Like this better component is not always better.
Yeah, and my statement is, in your Euro style games, I mean, really just Euros, right? Meeples to me are the thing, right? I mean, you just need a Meeple. I'm going to send my worker to go farm. I'm going to send this guy to go get me stone, any given type of thing, and I'm going to send another Meeple over here to go manufacture something. That's a Euro game kind of look with wooden Meeples. But if I'm playing a thematic big game, the War of the Ring style games and everything I just mentioned a little while ago, I do dig on the miniatures. It just makes me happy. Jacob then asks in his second question, he says, do you have a favorite keepsake memento item from your time in board gaming? What is it, and what does it make you think of when you pull it out? Could also be an award that you value having received as you do all the things in the industry that we muggles may not even know about. Maybe a signed copy of No Thanks from Tom Vassell, definitely not that one. Or a shirt with his face having been pied. I do love those. Thank you for all the enjoyment. Thank you for that funny one. Anybody have a memento from all of their gaming? Tough one.
So I was in business for a little while with Lucky Duck Games when they were producing Cosmoctopus, and I'm very good friends with the designer, very good friends with Lucky Duck. And when it was still in prototypes, they had 3D printed little Cosmoctopus guys, and they gave me one of their 3D printed demo Cosmoctopus, and I still keep it, and it really reminds me of that time, and it was a lot of fun being involved in the production.
Yeah, for me, I have the whole section in my office with different gifts that I received over the years. Of course, it is extremely kind and nice moment, and when you are a designer and you meet with the fans, and sometimes these fans love the game so much they want to give you something as a gift. So I have a ton of different items, and of course most of them have additional story. So here in Poland, I recorded even the whole 1 hour vlog when I was showing to the camera all the different various gifts that I received over the years. And with each gift, there is some additional background source. I will not now take the whole hour to discuss it. But yeah, I got this moment, amazing moment at Essen when people from NASA approached Prot Against Boob and gave me official NASA T-shirt as a thanks note for the first Martians. I have
that's awesome.
I have a beautiful watercolor portrait of mine, of myself, done by the fan of first Martians who painted me as an astronaut. Like I have a ton of different gifts. The most crazy I think, is a toy airplane. And of course, I need to give you like a 2 minutes story. I was going to UK Game Expo by plane, obviously. So I was obviously terrified. Our listeners know that. So I'm approaching the airport, and you guys who knows me, I'm terrified. I'm in a bad mood. I hate everyone when I'm at airport. This is the worst place ever for me. So I'm walking through this airport, super angry, super stressed out, and I see approaching me the guards, airport guards, waving to me, and I'm terrified that they're going to arrest me or shoot me, or what the hell is going on. They're clearly going towards me. They approach me. I'm almost fainting at this very moment. I'm standing at the airport. Guards exactly want something to me. and they tell me, come with us. I mean, oh my God, what the hell?
What?
And they take me, they take me behind the counter, and then one of these guards, the woman says, I'm a huge fan of Robinson Crusoe, Mr. Cevicek. I always wanted to meet you. And she wanted to take a selfie with me. I was almost fainting at this very moment. We take a photo, and she let me go to the airplane. I told this story in my podcast in Poland. She listened to this episode because she's a fan of Portal games. And she didn't realize that I was afraid, that I was terrified, that she made me so much stressful. And then next time I met her, because she came precisely for PortalCon, she gave me a toy plane, so I will never ever be terrified at the airport. So yes, all the crazy stories, crazy fans. Being a designer is very fun time.
Wow. Like the guards couldn't like say like, hey, somebody wants to meet you over there. They're a fan. They couldn't say that to you. No, they're come with us.
Wow. Maybe it was even like that, but I was so terrified. I was only seeing everything in bad colors. I was terrified from the start. Yeah.
That's great. I'm just going to give a quick shout out to all the people who have brought me gifts over the years, most of which I've consumed, most of which have been beer consumption. But I've gotten dice, custom dice trays, dice trays, custom card holders like that they made at their house. And they said, I really would love you to have this. Oh my gosh, so nice. The custom Lord of the Ring, the War of the Ring, or Lord of the Rings, the ring, the one ring as a dice tray too. It's just beautiful that somebody gave me. Yeah, amazing. Thank you all for that. Sev Blocks or Blaze maybe from France at Sev73. I have a question about licensing IPs for a game. When you license an IP for your game, how much control do the owners of the IP have over the story of the game? Are they strict about your game fully respecting the plot, the movie, the book? For example, let's say that you have a great game idea for a novel, but the ending of that novel wouldn't make a fantastic board game. Would the owners of the IP have a problem with you deviating slightly from the ending to make a better game? Ignacy, you've done quite a few, or definitely done some IPs there. So what do you?
I did. When I was doing Batman, we got a full. We were able to do whatever we want, and we had very precise information from Warner Bros. Impress us. Do whatever you want. This is your time to shine and create some value for the Batman IP. So with that, they said, do whatever you want, do your best. With Dune, the situation is different because our Dune was matched with the movie, and we had a lot of control from Legendary. And the second Dune that never was published, different story for another podcast. But we had a script. We sent the script to Legendary, and we got information. The script is okay, the story is okay, this is okay, this is okay, this is okay. But this episode, this part of the story, you cannot touch this part of the story because it will be highlighted in the movie.
Wow.
And the director has a very precise vision how this scene will be shown. We cannot tell you how because you are just from Poland, whatever. And so this part of the story you don't touch. It will be highlighted in the movie. No one else touches this. So if you are having something that is connected with other product that is coming out, you have a lot of control over your creative process.
Yeah, that sounds like, and I didn't realize that. It sounds like if it's current, and a current IP actually change, something's coming out right now, they're going to control it a lot. But if it's something that's relatively more static, then they're just going to say, okay, go. Like, or they're going to do a final approval, on the whole thing to make sure it's okay.
So I have an anecdote from my times when I was doing a Witcher, and I was working CD Projekt Red with my Witcher game. And we were talking and gossiping and having fun. And they were telling me we have this amazing video game, Witcher, and every year we wonder if Andrzej Sapkowski, a writer for the Witcher series, decides, for instance, to release a new novel and kill Witcher just for fun. And we are done. because speaking about ongoing, like there is a living writer who writes new novels, new stories about The Witcher, and you have an IP, and The Witcher is very important for the whole series of the video games, and you just wonder, maybe Andrzej will have a bad day and we just kill the the character.
Crazy.
Great stuff. So I think with that, let's move on to playtesting. All right, so Corey, why don't you take us here, since Corey is constantly giving us some new questions every week, and you had a really interesting one, and you know the answer to it, which is very interesting. So go ahead, Corey.
It's a bizarre answer. So my question was, in what year do you think the best board game titles were released? Highest rated titles. So just averaging ratings for every year. Is there a distinct year in which the highest ratings came out?
That is super cool question.
Yeah, and I think that everybody got the idea that it was going to be a very recent year, though Kirk W said 2025. I can't wait. But the thing was that you did the stats, right? You actually went and you got all the games and you figure out what is the correct one. So assuming these people didn't cheat, Corey, tell us the true answer and we'll see who got it right here.
I would bet 2009.
2009. There were some peaks. So the first thing that came out was every year rated better than the previous.
Yeah.
So it is very strongly just newer is better. If you correct for that, you get little bumps. And 2009 and 2016 are little bumps for sure. So the real answer, though, and you're not going to like this,
the real answer,
one year that is very distinctly better than every other year.
And it is, drum roll, please,
1925.
Get out of here. It is not. It is really?
Yep.
What came out in 1925?
Game in 2025. Come on, there's no game from Mr. Chivchek this year.
1925.
What came out in 1925?
1925.
1925 is significantly better than every other year.
What games? Game, probably.
So the reason is, if you go down the Board Game Geek, I did the statistics off the first 20,000 games.
Okay.
On Board Game Geek. In 1925, there's a single game that's released.
One game was released. And that's so funny.
Bridge.
What is it?
It's Bridge. Bridge.
Bridge.
Wow.
And the rating for Bridge as a single game is better than the average rating of any other year.
All right. So let's answer this question.
I can see that, because either you play Bridge and you love it, either you don't play Bridge and you don't even bother rating it.
Exactly. So Corey, but let's go to the modern era only. So let's say from the year 1990 till present, which is the highest rated? And I believe I said 2019 based on that, curve that was gonna.
2009, I released Stronghold. 2016, Portal Games releases Cry Havoc. Great picks.
Was the single biggest year besides that in the modern era 2009 and 2016? Which one?
16 was a little better.
16. So 16 is the answer.
Honest, those little bumps, those little peaks, totally insignificant. They are swamped by the fact that the average for every year is better than the average for the year before.
That's interesting.
Nothing significant comes out other than newer is better.
Nick Shaw got it right. Joss Wasser got it right.
Every year, less people from Poland are rating with their complaining and Slavic approach, and more Americans are rating with their happy approach to the life. That's what I see in these numbers.
I'm calling out the people who got it right. John Knost got it right. Chris Dupre got it right. That was it. So it was pretty good. I'm not sure if they did your stats or they just picked it up, but there was a lot of people who actually picked that year. So very interesting. And
did
Corey,
anybody pick Bridge 1925?
Nobody picked the real 1925. Answer. Nobody picked it. Well, Corey, what's this week's question?
All right. So this is one question. You wrote it out as a much longer question.
I put
It's
a
very
caveat.
simple. What is your favorite mass market game title? Like this is
Right.
5
It's
words
a
in this.
simple question, but the definition of mass market is going to throw everybody. People
Right.
are going to game the system because we're
Yeah.
asking the question to gamers.
Right. No, but I that's why I always have to add these little bits. And you also had added it could be something nostalgic, something current, whatever. And I added, however, let's leave out anything that originally was a hobby game, like code names, right? Code names would be my answer, but I think it shouldn't be part of this because it is a mass market game now, but it certainly started as a hobby game. So
I don't know that I would call it a mass market game. Right
it is. Code names is one of the biggest selling games in the world.
And that's
right
the
now.
problem is the definition of what a mass market game is.
Then why did you put the question in here? Just to confuse everybody?
Can I finally answer?
Yes, please.
Yes, please answer.
I don't know how to pronounce this game in English.
We'll listen and try to translate from Polish. Go ahead.
Rummy Cube.
Rummy Cube.
Yes, that's probably going to be my answer. Rummy Cube.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
an
And
amazing
so
game.
this is not the best mass market game. This is great game, whatever category we are talking. Like I have it in my collection. I played it regular with my wife. I played it as a kid with my grandmother. It is solid game. I love it, and this is my immediate answer. I love this game, and I strongly recommend you.
It's
and it is true mass market game.
Yeah, absolutely. Great game.
It
I've
is.
played it many times. Paula loves that game. What do you got, Corey?
The national game of Israel.
Very cool.
Oh.
So I have a very nostalgic connection to a game called Bonkers. And Bonkers, I think, was an original Inspiration Legacy game.
Really?
Bonkers had a board. It was a roll and write, but the spaces were essentially all blank, and you held tiles. And when you rolled and moved, you'd then put a tile down on the space where you landed. And the spaces would be go back 2, go forward 5, go back 3, go back 4. And it turned into these interesting mazes and loops on the board. I just loved it. And some people would play it with glue, and that was a legacy game.
Very interesting. I mean, I'm just going to go back to all those Milton Bradley big plastics games that I loved back in the day, and I had them all, and they're all gone now. Those are the ones that and it was amazing because they were kind of cool games and or a little bit less modern, but they were wonderful. And I had them and I played them when I was young, and they got lost somewhere in the shuffle. But so right now, everybody out there, what is your favorite mass market game? Let's leave out the ones that crossed over and things like that. Ignacy is going to create a thread on Board Game Geek with this episode's number 328. And maybe next week we'll take your answer to our question. And in the meantime, let's go to final scoring. Thank you all for listening. Help us spread the word about this podcast by telling your friends to download Board Games Insider wherever they like to get their podcasts.
Wait. Didn't we vote that Corey does it better than you?
We voted it, Ignacy. He wasn't for that episode.
Okay. I forgot.
I think that there has been just a roar from the fans and the audience that I read better than Steven does.
I agree.
That's why I'm surprised. Like I'm just saying.
I agree, but you make mistakes too, so I'll do it.
No, never have.
Or watch Board Games Insider on the Podfather of Gaming YouTube channel. If you want to be part of this podcast, you can just ask us questions for strategy and tactics, or answer our question to you from the playtesting segment by going to the guild on Board Game Geek and looking for the thread with this episode's question. Check out the websites. They are portalgamesus.com, podfathergaming.com, dicetowerdish.com, and play2zgames.com. We're all over social media, so please interact with us on Facebook. Please like our pages, which are /BoardGamesInsider, /PortalGamesUS, /PodfatherGaming, and /Play2ZGames. Speak directly to Ignacy, Corey, and Steven on Twitter or X and Instagram at PortalGamesUS, at PodfatherGaming, at Dice Tower Dish. And the active YouTube channels are Portal Game Studios, the Podfather of Gaming, and Above Board TV. On TikTok, Portal Games US. We really would love to see you in person at an upcoming convention. So nice talking to people here at the WBC, thanking us for what we're doing here. So keep doing that whenever you see us. Hopefully, I'll see some of you guys at Gen Con next week. And Board Games Insider was professionally edited by Joshua Bowman from Tabletop Submarine Podcast. If you want your podcast edited by Joshua, reach out to him to discuss at tabletopsubmarine@gmail.com. And that great voice you hear doing the intro, the outro, the in-between segments is that of Ray Greenlee. He can be contacted to do voiceover work at raygreenleevoiceover.com. Gentlemen, that brings us to the end of yet another amazing episode. Anything you want to tell our fans?
I'm going to Comic-Con tomorrow.
Comic-Con, there you go. If you check
cool.
out the cherubic Corey Thompson over at Comic-Con. Ignas.
And remember to visit Portal Games booth at Gen Con. If you are there, bring cookies to Chevy, bring snacks, bring coffee. He needs that. And check out our new game, AI Space Puzzle. You're going to love it.
Awesome. And just check me, find me at Gen Con. Can't wait to see everybody. Take care, everybody. Appreciate you. See you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you later, everyone.